Hey guys, thank you so much for coming back for another video. Today we're going to be talking about 3 tips I have for new grads going into their work. So before I begin, I really want you to please like this video. It does a lot for the channel. Hopefully you'll enjoy the videos I have. Please consider subscribing, and let's go ahead and get right into it. So for new grads, the first tip I have is I would definitely say apply for jobs early on. Now, a lot of people will say, I don't know if you can, I don't know if you should. You can apply weeks in advance, and that way you'll secure a position. Hopefully you'll secure a position, you'll get an interview, and if you want to work on that unit, you let your manager know much earlier in advance. The mistake I made was I didn't tell my manager until the last week, and I lost a few weeks of working because of that. The reason why it takes a few weeks is because what happens is you send your application, it goes to HR sifts through all the applications, sends it to your manager, then your manager has to receive that application and needs to give you a call and coordinate with your educator on a weekday when you can come in for an interview. Then after the interview, you need to wait 1 week to hear back from them whether you got it or not. I mean, it just takes a long time. So like I said, guys, just please be proactive and apply much earlier in advance. And the other thing is let your manager know. So that goes on to tip number 2. The second tip I have is speak to your manager. Get to know your manager. Your manager is crucial for your floor. The manager does all the hiring, right? So you want to create a good relationship with your manager. Ask how they're doing, how's it going, is there anything you can learn. Don't bother them. Managers are really busy. They have to, especially for my hospital, the manager I work at, the hospital I work at and the unit I work at, the manager is responsible for 3 different floors, and that's absolutely insane. I don't know how she does it. She's ridiculously smart at what she does. I don't know what she's doing, but anyways, it just requires a lot of time. So you don't want to bother them and pester them, but just be on their radar. You want to keep saying hi to them, asking how they are, and you want to hint towards wanting to work there. So you just you just subtly say hi and just make yourself well known onto the unit. So the third and final tip I have for you guys is create good relationship with other nurses onto the unit. The educator and the manager definitely go ahead and ask all other nurses onto the unit how this preceptor student did onto their floor. The senior nurses, you really gotta make sure that you create a good relationship with them, because those are crucial people. If you're to give you perspective, the manager requires requires a whole bunch of senior nurses so that, first of all, other nurses can be trained onto the unit. Secondly, there's different levels of nursing experience. There's a first year nurse, there's a second year nurse, there's a third year, and then above 5 years, then you don't become extremely senior, but you become very knowledgeable about the floor, how it works. You've seen a lot. And so the nurse wants to retain all of these highly experienced nurses onto the unit, because that allows for the whole unit to function really effectively, and it's just staff retention. As a manager, you want the staff to be happy, especially the senior ones. So what does the manager do? They ask for their opinions. You know what, guys? They ask for what they think. They ask, hey, is this nursing student somebody you want to be working with in the future? Is that someone you enjoy working with? Has that person been a hard-working person? Do you like their presence? They straight up ask these questions. The educator asks questions about you to other nurses. And in a previous video, I explained what you should do in your preceptorship in order for you to secure your position, and give you some tips on how to, create a good relationship with others and your colleagues. And I highly recommend you watch that video if you really want to get hired onto that same unit. But anyways, guys, so that's tip number 3. You really got to create a good relationship with the nurses onto your unit. You really want to make your presence well known. For a new grad like myself, I definitely made myself known, and I got hired onto the unit, thankfully. And so one of the ways I did that was through creating good relationships with different colleagues onto the unit. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to be asking, what about if you've never worked onto that unit? So what you want to be doing is you want to go onto the unit and speak to the manager in person. Take your resume, you gotta look professional, have a good professional outfit. Go to the manager and give them the resume. Explain to them your situation. Explain why you want to be working there, and explain that, can you give me a job code? So what a lot of people don't understand is that because it has to go through HR, the manager has to have a certain job code that they'll give you in order for you to apply for that unit. So for example, I applied for a casual onto that unit, and I asked the manager, hey, which job code do you want me to apply for? I'll apply for that, and I'll tell you when I applied. And thankfully I did that, and that helped her a lot in order for her to look out for my application. It helped a lot in terms of knowing what job she wants me to apply for. Like, she told me the job code, and I was like, okay, so I'm being considered for casual. I didn't know that. Like when I said, hey, I want a job, she never said, yeah, I'll give you a full-time, or I'll give you a part-time. She said, I'll give you a job code. The job code is really key, guys. So make sure you ask for the job code. The job code is absolutely crucial. It'll tell you a lot more than what you think. And yeah, that's another tip I have for you guys. So that's 4 tips I have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like what you saw, please give it a thumbs up, like the video, and maybe consider sharing it with your friends. Thanks, guys. Take care.